Hello, it's Sean here, and welcome to another watercolor demonstration video, a tuition if you like. I'll talk you through what I'm doing so you can understand it, and hopefully you're going to enjoy this. We're just going to pop in the sky. Sun keeps popping in, popping out. It's actually quite a nice day today in terms of the weather. We're just going to get the basic hues in. It's quite grey today. There's a touch of blue, but not much. But mainly greys. Getting quite warm as they come down. No blue sky, no white clouds at all. So we'll try and design those out, and we'll wash this down, and then we'll warm it up at the bottom with some yellow ochre. Hopefully you can see that. A bit more yellow ochre. Makes me laugh how people pronounce that. Depends. And then here as well, in the foreground, we're going to go strong. Touch of orange in here as well. Whoa, beautiful. Just design this up a little bit, and this is going to be the first wash, and this is how fast it needs to be done, guys. Just super fast. That's it, done. Just need to take out here because it's too strong across this horizon. And my focal point is going to be around the gate. There's going to be a bit of a foil here, so we've got big sky, big foreground. We've got a touch of sun coming in now, which is nice. So that's the first kind of wash. The only other thing is to pop in some distance and just get that in really super fast. Just kind of following the lines, not really following them at all. I want this to blend and bleed all the way down. I'm just going to move that up, so you just have to be patient a second while we do this. This is just taking out some pigment and then letting it come back down. Lovely granulation coming in here. And yeah, that's it. So we want a darkest dark here and our lightest light. So I'm just going to take out some of this pigment here just to put that in. Take out a couple bits there. But we're okay in the sky, I think we're okay. It's a nice sort of tree coming in from the left-hand side, which will push things back. But we've got to let that dry, and that's kind of the first wash is done. As I said, today's going to be super fast. So we're into step 2. I'm going to move down now into a number 8 mop brush here. This is a Pro Art mop brush. My paper, I didn't mention it, it's Whatman. You can get something very, very similar now. It's called Milford. This is an old antique paper. You can't get it. They went into liquidation, bankrupt, whatever. But I managed to grab lots of it. Anyway, we're going to come in now. We need to be thinking about this area here and maximum impact. So I'm going to touch in some of this yellow ochre with some of this ultramarine. It's a mix of a bit of a green and some neutral tint, like a warmer green. And the sun's starting to come out a little bit, which kind of helps me a bit. I'm still on maximum impact here, remember. So we're gonna pop in another layer of trees here, and just let them do their thing. As long as we've got a bit of variation, it should work quite well. Just going to pop in a little bit more liquid in there. That's nice. Got holes there. Just looking for some of these little gaps to come through. You want those. Just let that bleed in. Touch with the tip of the brush, gentle touches. Need to be retaining a mixture of lost and found edges. So some of these are getting lost and blurred, and others are getting what we call found. Here, because it's a little bit wet, we're getting a bloom. So I'm going to take this number 16 Fumu, I think it's Fumai brush, and I do this a lot. It's just clear water. I'm just going to run that in here and run that off, and then run it back the other way, just to create a soft edge. So that kind of bleeds across there. This is some beautiful colours here, blending and bleeding. It's all doing its own thing. It's nice. So that's some warmth. Now, because we've put in this kind of warm green, greeny brown, isn't it? You can see it on here, kind of like an olive colour, light olive. It's pushing back all the distance, and then you also get more distance there with the yellow. So, and that's enough on that. We don't need to do anything else. I'm just touching that. It's still quite damp. I'm going to come and work in on here as well in a second. Now then, one thing I am going to do is work in on this tree, because this is dry enough to work on, the actual main trunk. So I'll just take some of this out so it doesn't bleed in just here. We're going to go, yeah, this is another grey. So we'll take the colours we already have and we'll pop this in quite strong. Tip of the brush, remember, kind of going where the lines are, not staying strictly there. And then we'll pick up a smaller brush in a second just to help with this. But this goes quite a long way up. The main thing to remember about trees is they need to start out thicker in the trunk and going up. And then I'll pop off and put in some of this finer branch work in a second. Just having a look to see what's going on ahead of me. You can get quite a fight. I mean, this is a nice sable brush, so you can get a fine, if you lift off, point on it. I just want to come in with a lighter one. A thinner one. I didn't mean a lighter one, I meant a thinner one. And we're going to get a little bit of dry brush now as well, which is quite nice. As we go up, I quite like these pencil marks that are left in. They don't bother me at all. I'm not going to go lavishly over everything we see here. Just some spits and spats just went on there, but that's not a problem. You do need to have lost and found edges. You do need to have dry brush as well as wet work going on. And this paper has dried off nicely enough to allow me to do this. There's quite a bit of foliage coming out on here. Not because we're still sort of the 3/4 of the way into April. I'm not sure when I'm going to be posting this on YouTube, so this could be much later in the year, but I'm getting quite a lot of content. But it's whenever it is, it doesn't really matter. It's the feel. The spring, still quite cool. It's only about 12 degrees. But today the wind has stopped for the first time in quite a while. Just going to go a bit darker on some patches. The light is coming in from the left, so we can design. There we go, bang! That's either a bird scarer or someone out practicing shooting somewhere. Quite close. Sounds like a bird scarer to me. This little camera's hidden. I've been walking in fields, whoa, myself before, and bang! It's like, whoa, why are they doing that? But anyway, they do it. They're allowed to do it. After all, these are the farmers' fields. It's their fields. How far do we go when we're painting trees? Well, how long's a piece of string, guys? It's up to you. It's however you feel. It's all working out, yes. I think that's probably enough on this tree now. Paint in the palette is drying off quite quickly, actually. I need a bit of foreshortening coming in a couple of places. That's where it comes forward. That will do. It's quite a nice shape. It is still going off the page. That's about right. Okay, that will do. These little bits here, we can just take those out and instantly get rid of stuff like this without too much issue. We're going to be dry enough to paint into. Right, so we've gone from that Fumio into a number 6, a Skoda brush. I'm just going to put in these. This is going to be a mixture of neutral tint, because I want the eye to go there, and a touch of burnt sienna, just to warm it up a little bit. In one go, look, where we possibly can. And then across, we have some of these bars going across. It's enough. There's a couple of those here and there. Warm it up a bit, just for, and they kind of go off. Just put some bits in here. The page, the paper. That'll do. It's enough. More than enough there. I'm going to put in some dry brush here. This is going to be straight into the paint. This is burnt sienna. I'm going to come across there. A little bit more burnt sienna, because I want that to run off as well. I don't want that hard edge just sticking out. That would be weird in the grand scheme of things. There we go. Just take that off. And there are shadows coming across this way as well, so that kind of mimics that. There are shadows coming off here as well. Not that you can see them within the grasses too much, so that this dry brush is quite nice for that. Don't go too nuts with this, taking the eye in. That will do. Here comes a plane. While we're waiting for that to dry, we'll work on this tree here, and we're going to warm this up a little bit. Same mixtures, but I'm just going to go a bit warmer with this burnt sienna. A lot of these trees now, they're just starting to get their foliage, but not huge amounts. And again, it's how much do you need to do? Well, it's hard to say. It's really down to the individual artist, guys. We're kind of aiming, you can see this, you've seen me do this before. And if you haven't, if you're new to this channel, I'm kind of aiming some of the branches down here to make the eye to go there. I'm going to put a figure in this paint, and I've just decided. I haven't seen anyone out here at all. Not a single person. No one, darling, no one. A few bits of dry, and that will do. Okay. Let this dry off. So stage 3, I need to bring some of these there's bits of branch and things down there on the floor. So there's bits of branch and things down there on the floor. So I need to kind of deal with those over there. And just strengthen this area up a little bit. It's kind of bothering me a bit. Not too much, but a little bit. We need to join things up a bit. You heard me talk about that before, how you need to join elements up. It doesn't matter what these bits are, to be honest. But I do need to have, could be a bit of a fence there, look. And there are fences absolutely everywhere here, so it's not out of character at all. Now then, the figure. Well, the focal point's going to be around here. We need to have the guy kind of out walking his dog. Maybe. Or maybe just out on his own. Let's pop him in quite quick. And mess about. Put his head in as well. And we'll put his dog in while we're at it. Looks like his dog's here kind of pulling on the lead. I'm going to take out some of this neutral tint. And I'm going to put this guy in blue. Let's find this. And a blue jacket on. Just leave his trousers. couple of shadows in. We'll join some of these bits up as well. Said about that before. Everything's going across to the right hand side. I'm going to give this guy a stick, I've decided. He's walking with a stick. Not that he's invalid, but lots of people come out with sticks they throw for the dogs, okay? The only other thing I need to sort out with this dog, bless him, is he seems to be up and barking on the leash. That's better. He's kind of looking over that way. Let's take this guy, the face out of this guy. That's better. Oh, it's looking a lot better. That's better. I need to just redesign that touch. That'll do it. Getting the carrot to come through now. Right, good. Pop in some of these, just to strengthen up some of these bits. As I said about joining stuff up, you can see what I'm doing here, joining from the character. Dry brush. As well as liquid as well. Okay. I just want to get up. That's better. Just a bit more liquid in there. Okay, we're now ready to pop in some shadows and foliage. So I'm just going to clear this out. Don't need this anymore now. Some of it I will, but not much of it. And you know what I'm going to do? Ultramarine, getting low on that, of course. And some crimson. For these shadow colours, big shadows. And this will tie it all up, guys. This is the final bit. This should be super fast painting, actually, hopefully. Sometimes you just get lost in what you're doing. So we've got all kinds of trees and shadows and stuff coming down there. I will pop in some here. And that is just a blur out there. It's kind of done. Coming in from that tree. We do need to make sure we got soft edges as well. So So we'll just touch in some water in places. Just clear water to bleed off here. Tree shadows just fade out, guys. Okay, they just do. Especially when you've got fields and things, they just fade out, fade off. Again, it's this whole principle of lost and found edges coming in. Notice how this is tying everything together now. Again, we need some liquid in here, fading off. It's all about observations and what we see, really, and just kind of interpreting that. That's better. Lost and found. What I am going to do is just go a bit darker in, just in here a touch, just mix up. You've seen me do this before. Burnt sienna into there just to warm things up. I'll move that back a little bit, and then normally near the back of it, a touch of ultramarine, just to mix up warmth and cool, and just get it a bit more balanced. Remember, we're looking for the lights here to design it. Now we're going to smash this up a little bit, put in some beautiful, the next little hue that we haven't really used. Highlights in here. Don't need to be too careful, we just need to make sure this is kind of scrunched open like that. It's just early spring, springing into life. We've got a similar thing going on here. Early spring, just coming into life. Vary this brush strokes. Nice. Touch of blue into the mix of yellow cad, touch of ultramarine, yellow cad, touch of ultramarine until we get the right mixture. There we go. Smashing it down, look. For this one here, just pick out a few of these darker notes. That. The same on this one, we've got this same sort of thing happening here. Vary the brush strokes, just dab in, and that's done. Here we go, I've got some Juan or Jean Brilliant. This is a kind of blend between yellow ochre. It says made by Holbein. I'm just going to touch some of this in on the highlights, as we know, coming across this way. Don't really need much on the dog because he's already kind of lit up, but we'll just indicate there. touch down there and on his arm, touch on his stick, and I'm just going to pop in just to unify some of this. Don't need much in. That's it. Less is more, as they say. I don't know who they are who say it, but yeah, very nice. Now, one last little thing that's been bugging me is I want to push behind that tree there, and by that I mean I need to pop in some warmer mixture. That's just suggesting this kind of broken fence down there, just to push that away. Bit of dry brush will do it as well. Down in there, not too cleaned up, that's better. Kind of puts it in its place, otherwise it just looks like it's standing out, which is kind of a bit odd. We'll pop in some of that little green just mixture there, just to kind of warm that up a little bit in there. I think we're done, guys. I think we're done. Simple painting. So hopefully you my hat's all over the place. Hopefully you enjoyed that one, guys. It's a simple kind of painting, really. Oh, you can see it in the background. Simple painting. Guy out walking, his dog. He looks as if he's struggling a bit with his walking. Beautiful day. We've got the light coming in as well, which is nice. And it's just a location that I paint around a lot. I always think it's worth visiting where you paint in different seasons, and I have done demonstrations before, and you can see online all the kinds of paintings that I do. But this one in particular, I've been here at different seasons. Let's have a quick look. So there we go. I'm going to take the tape off. So anyway, take care now. Keep painting. Get outside. You can't beat it. I mean, the freshness when you're trying to paint, quick. I was trying to do this within half an hour. It really does pay off sometimes, but today seems to have paid off. Anyway, take care now. Bye-bye.